say you're not going to watch, then don't watch if you want to change. If you're that outraged with, oh, Bravo's going to love me, but watch, I'm going to, it's my job. But if you're so outraged by Monica leaving, then don't watch. Send a real message. Excuse me. But it doesn't work if it's like a game of chicken and you all really want to watch, which you kind of all really do. Let's just be honest. Teresa has done a new interview and is slamming Sofia Vergara again as the rudest celebrity she ever met. She said Sofia didn't want to take a picture with her. I find this so funny. Teresa, girl, Miss Giudice, have you ever refused a picture with someone? I have to be honest. Both Melissa and Teresa are pretty good about taking pictures with the fans. Teresa does it because she understands she makes millions of dollars a year because of people wanting her picture. Melissa just does it because, girl, she thinks she's J-Lo and it gets her off. Like, I'm up here and you're down there. Again, I can't help but read into Monica an elitist thing of like, a fan has crossed the velvet rope and we cannot have this. And get back in your place, little girl. You're fired. And I really do think it's because of producers. And I really do think it's like we basically were lied to and someone actually did it successfully. And we can't have that because it does question the casting process, the background process. How did this happen? And it turns that on its head. And so this sends a message that you can turn us on your head and get through the door by pulling the wool over our eyes, but you will then be fired and your housewife's career will be very, very short-lived. So it sends a message that after all this, applying and this and that, and you're on the show, what do you really like? What have you gained because you're fired? I mean, you've gained worldwide notoriety for the 300,000 to 700,000 people that have watched. So a couple 100,000 people know about you. But yeah, it sends a message. It's a message. Slap on the wrist. You have to go to the reunion. If you don't go to the reunion, you're fired. You didn't follow our rules. Unless we're desperate and you're Mary Cosby. If you pull the wool over our eyes and pretend to be someone you're not, which she didn't pretend to be someone she's not. She's exactly who she told them she was. Poor, broke, never had a Louis Vuitton, in an abusive ex-husband, the outcast. She's exactly who she says she was. Exactly. 100%. She didn't tell them about this one thing, but it's sending a message for all you Bravo snark people that talk about the show all day. Tisk tisk, you cannot cross the velvet rope. You cannot cross to the elitist side. You can come to BravoCon and spend, millions and thousands of dollars, but don't cross the line. Get your pictures when it's your time. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard. Maybe I have my bee in a bonnet today. And I'm sorry, Meredith, Lisa, Whitney, Heather. How dumb. How fucking dumb. Angie K. How dumb. You know, what you should have said, what you should have said to Andy instead of how you can't film with this person and that and this and the trust is broken and two. Luann does it right. Teresa does it right. Who else does it right? Candy Burris does it right. You got to show up. And when it's, let me tell you something. And even, who I used to talk to about this when I used to be friends with her? The Marge. The Marge gets it too, in the sense, is like, you want your castmates to be A+. So really, Meredith and Lisa and Whitney and Heather, forget about Jen Shah going to fucking prison. Nobody cares. It got you some notoriety, but it wasn't this. This got you into the real big leagues. I mean, people were more enthralled with Housewives than let it not be about Tom. I mean, with Salt Lake, more than Kathy and Lisa, or at least on par with that. Like, this to me stepped up. And look, they're not nothing. I love Meredith. I love Lisa. Whitney's cool. You know what I mean? Angie's husband was on my show and she made a guest appearance. Like, this I'm not knocking these people. I'm not knocking these people, but you know, I'm not knocking these people, but the bottom line is this elevated you. It elevated you. So, like, you could have had your own Jimmy Kimmel moment, baby gorgeous. So, to me, I think you all fumbled the ball. To me, you should wanted to have Monica come back. Like, if I were there, I would have been like, holy shit, this is the biggest thing ever. Timeline, receipts, proof, screenshots, everything. I would have wanted this show to come back with Monica if I were Heather Gay, if I were Whitney Rose, Meredith Marks, Lisa Barlow, Angie Katzenevas. So you fumbled the ball. So when this is said and done, are the cast members now waking up today happy and thrilled and like the devil was dead? We're on our text chain with the five of us, or maybe they're excluding Angie and it's just the four of them. Are you really happy? Like deep down, I know you're saying you're happy to each other, but are you really happy? Because you have to go back to work February 5th. That is like right around the corner. So when you guys go back to work, how are we gonna top that? How are we gonna top receipts, timeline, proof, screenshots? How does that get topped? So if I were Meredith or Whitney, I would be like, fuck, because I think it elevated the show to like the big leagues. I mean, look, let's just be honest. The show's great this past season. There is a hierarchy of housewives, right? Like, you know, Dr. Nicole Martin said it best when she just said to Anne Marie, honey, if I was cloud chasing, isn't that implying that it's usually by definition, you're mentioning someone bigger. So let me just make it very clear that like Robin Dixon, and I'm not picking on my girl, Robin Dixon wants a picture with Teresa Giudice. I'm just being honest with you. Anne Marie wants one with Countess Luann, right? Deandra Simmons. Hi, Deandra from Dallas. The Dallas girls are listening. Deandra Simmons wants a picture with Bethany Frankel. You know what I'm saying? Mia Thornton wants a picture with her castmate, the Grand Dame. You know what I'm saying? There is a hierarchy of housewives, okay? And yeah, Salt Lake had the best season ever, I think, out of all the housewives, but this could have been it. This was the Teresa table flip moment. We could have gone, this was so big for the franchise that it really could have elevated it, that none of you really wanted this woman back. No one thought like a producer and said, this is so big for our show that great, we have something to work with next season. What is next season going to be about? Now, by the middle of the season, we always get over it. Now we're all upset with Anne-Marie for esophagus gate. We're not talking about Rinna and the bots and Hilton and the meltdown and Aspen. We always get over it, of course. Excuse me. But I mean, I'm not that excited. This should have been, you should have taken the ball and you should have run with this. This would have been great, Meredith. Heather Gay, this would have been great.